Welcome to our first Lunch and Learn. So today we're going over why record keeping is important, the record keeping process, and to give you an overview of the permanent record in the Kansas 4-H project director form. So as volunteers, record keeping is a 4-H member's responsibilities, but it is important that the parents or volunteers guide 4-H members through the process. So younger 4-H members should need more guidance, and then they'll gain experience and competence as they grow in 4-H. So the purpose of the 4-H record keeping is for the 4-H'er to learn how to set goals, make plans for action, and how to decide how well you did through that evaluation. It is also for them to learn the skills of record keeping and organization to use for now and in the future. So examples would be finances, taxes, health, immunizations, careers, scheduling, keeping records of all of that, learning how to communicate, prioritize, and summarize their project mastery and experiences, to practice the responsibility of completing a task and meeting a deadline, to help evaluate information and prioritize that information, and to allow the 4-H member to tell how they've grown, what they've learned, where they've came up short, and to do it within the outlined parameters of the record books. And then the last, it is a competition. There is a local competition, there's a regional, and there's a state competition level. So this is just showing you that there is the local level at the bottom of that triangle. This is our local unit parameters. This is our local unit record keeping, what gets turned in every October. The middle level is our regional, and how it's changing in the future is it's adding in the cover letter along with the project and a project resume along with the report turned in at the local unit. And then the state level adds a video on top of that. So this is just kind of what parts are referred to the local record keeping. There's 4 parts, and the 5th one is if we have any other specific unit requirements. As of now, we don't. We might in the future, but basically it's just these 4 pieces: the check sheet, the personal information page, a permanent record, and a project report form. There also is a guide to Kansas 4-H project recognition that follows along in the new process, and so it's something that we're going to offer to families to use to help complete their record books. And so it wouldn't hurt for you to look through it too to see what's going on. So the first part of the record book is the check sheet, and this is the check sheet for local, regional, and state. But basically it's just to help families and the kids stay organized. It's just a simple checklist to make sure you have all the pieces to turn in. So just for the local level, they'll be turning in the top white part of the form. The personal information page is just like how it's always been. It's just the personal information page with a picture. Nothing's changed here. The permanent record. So this is going to be the true record in the sense that it reflects all of the young person's 4-H and non-4-H activities. It grows with 4-H members each year. So a 7-year 4-H member should have 7 years worth of activities in the permanent record and should be adding their 8th year in. It's a fillable Word document. So if you run out of columns or rows, you just keep hitting tab and it'll add more in. If you have been using one from previous years, do note that in October 2020, they updated this and tweaked it a bit to make it look a little better. It's just still the same information, and we do not expect you to transfer all of your information into the new one. Continue to use the old version. And if you're new to record keeping, use the new one. So section 1 in our permanent records is our groups and organizations. And this is where you will list everything you're involved in, whether it's in 4-H, school, community, and or faith. If the group is non-4-H related, there's a column with a little asterisk for you to put in. Basically, if for each group, they'll list if they're an officer or if they have any, roles held, like a junior leader, project leader, committee chairman, all of that sort of stuff. They fill it out, number of meetings held, number that you led, number that you attended, and then the level. For example, local level would be anything that like the Busy Beavers 4-H Club does. If you're a junior leader, that would be a county district level. So if you were on a committee and council, that's a county district level. But if you were on a committee with your local 4-H club, that would be a local level. Area and regional is if we do any like Southeast area judging contests or any of that. State would be if you were part of like a state committee, and then national, international is all of that. The hours is optional, so if you were helping to put on an event, you might put in a number of hours you helped. You donated your time, so you put in the hours that you helped put on that event. Section 2 is our permanent record for communications, presentations, exhibits, and contests. So this is where you would put all projects completed. So that'd be all the ribbons you got at fair, all the presentations you gave throughout the year, all of the contests you completed in, all of it. And if it's a non-4-H activity, again, it has a little asterisk. If it's something that was a team, like a judging team, you put that in. And you just fill it out to the best that it fits. Every project, every exhibit, every judging competition, all of it won't be entered the same, but you just fill it out to the best that you can. Again, level, local is like local club level. County is your county. If it's done Harvey County, area and regionals, if we have like multi-county club days, you compete twice if you go back to the area and regional. So you compete as a county level, and then you also compete again as an area regional. And then again, optional, if there's an audience, if there's any income expenses, any hours, you would add that in. If you have ribbons, you would add, P for purple, B for blue, and you would put that on the in the left column with the appropriate size of project, kind of that area. The third section is activities, and this is where events and activities that aren't included already in that first section or any other section. Again, this is anything that was 4-H, school, community. Examples include achievement programs, talent shows, camps, regional 4-H days, nursing home projects, sponsorship of clubs or county awards, fairground cleanup, assistant to a fair superintendent, a special fundraising effort, band, teams, FFA, anything that's an activity. If it's non-4-H related, you enter the asterisk again. You enter whether your involvement was leadership or citizenship. Leadership is teaching another person or group skills or information. That includes organizing and coordinating an event, activity, or meeting. And citizenship means you're helping your community. So for like club leaders, they might get a lot of help with citizenship, whereas project leaders might have a lot more help with leadership, having a 4-H'er lead a meeting or explain a project during a meeting. Again, hours, audience, income, expenses, all optional. Section 4 is the most important recognition. So this is where 4-H'ers are really going to prioritize what is the most important awards and things they have gotten. So this is listing anything throughout the year, honors, awards, out-of-county trips that were an award. So example could be the Camp Scholarship, the National 4-H Congress, the 4-H Key Award, a county project award, school achievement award, a letter. If it's non-4-H related, again, they use the asterisk, and you identify that in that column, and you let us know the level. So that is the basic permanent record. So that's going to be from the year they start 4-H to the year they end 4-H. And now we will be including those back in our record books. The next piece that has been updated is our project report form. And this should represent the work and thoughts to the 4-H member. So parents can help, but they should refrain from rewording or completing the forms themselves. This year, we're encouraged to complete all of these new forms for at least one project. They can fill out more projects if they wish, but we ask for at least one. And it's available in a fillable PDF. You just download it and you save it and work on it from your saved document. So we're moving forward as of now. There's 2 different project report forms. There's the general one for non-animal projects like food and nutrition, leadership, clothing, visual arts. And there's the animal project form, which is for any animal project, dog, horse, beef, swine, rabbit, any of them. Animal has a little bit more on the financial side, like animal inventory, financial information, immunizations, all of that. So this is something, the project report form is where I'd like project leaders to look at and really help our 4-Hers plan from the moment 4-H year starts to the end of the 4-H year. They're age appropriate levels. So forms for juniors would be 7 and 9 years of age, intermediates 10 to 13, and our seniors is 14 and up. So make sure they're choosing the right form. They are scaffolding, which is really great. So our older kids, our 7 and 9, aren't writing a 4-H story. They're just answering prompts. There is a limit to the items you can put in these forms. So you really have to prioritize and you have to deem what is the most important. Just for example, levels of participation, L is local club, CD is our county district, regional is where there's more than one county get together. So the regional one that we have every year is our multi-county club day. State level would be the whole state, like Discovery Days. Multi-state would be multiple states. National would be the whole nation, and international would be if you did anything internationally, like 4-H exchange or hosting a 4-Her. So successful 4-H projects begin with written goals, and that's providing a plan. How will we move each year? They should be designed for learning within the project, developing technical skills, or providing leadership and citizenship to others. So a goal is deciding what they want to do, and this is where project leaders and club leaders can really help kids figure out what they really want to do, what's the action, so how are they going to do something, what's the result, what are they going to do, and a timeline. So as you can see as an example on here, we have a junior and a senior. A senior is very much just stating the goal, and it's putting in all three parts of the action, the result, and the timeline. So by January, they want to master a skill in making a lattice pie crust with the help of a project leader. And then the junior, it has more prompts. So what do they want to do? They want to learn how to use watercolors. When do they want to do it? In January. And who's going to help them? So Sally Smith, the project leader. It can be mom, it can be dad, it can be aunt, uncle, friend, teacher, club leader, project leader, whoever. So we set these goals early. Some other example, is just to make sure the goals pass this control test. So you ask yourself if you have control over what parts happen. If you answer yes, then your goal is good to go. Like for example, I went to win champion with my cookies at county fair. It doesn't really pass the control test because you have no control of what ribbon placing you're going to get. Instead, if you concentrate on your learning, your skills, leadership, community service goals, your goal will be well-rounded and more controlled. So if we take some time to write down goals and work with kids, especially our younger kids, helping them figure out what they want, how they're going to do it, who will help them is great. So here's some examples. I want to lead a porch project meeting. I want to keep accurate records, or I want to make 3 nutritious snacks for the nursing home. So these are some good examples. So section 2 in the project report form is any forms of communication related to this project. So this is project talks, demonstrations, public speaking, newspaper articles, blogs, social media, videos, anything that's a presentation related to the project. So this would be giving a project leader during the project meeting, giving demonstration, club meeting, giving your presentation. Include videos, blogs, social media that you presented or designed to under this section. If you don't have to fill every row, and if you did have enough to fill it, great. If you didn't, that's fine too. Just don't be discouraged if all of these aren't filled. So this is where you put in what communications you had for this project. Section 3 is where you want to learn what you've done within your 4-H project. You're going to list your experiences. They should be age appropriate. You're going to be detailed to evaluate your progress. You're going to list any new and fun things that you have done and learned related to your project. You're going to include activities such as project meetings, workshops, clinics, contests, tours, field trips, computer learning programs, etc. These are activities that have included in a completed in a project setting, or may be the result of something you did on your own. So you're going to indicate that on the level, and you'll see up top it's local, CD for county district, state level, regional, however. So that's where this is. So you'll see the example, they attended the 4-H Insect Spectacular. This is what they learned, and it was a state level event. Section 4 is where you're going to list any project related activities, exhibits, entries, displays. This is 4-H and non-4-H. So again, what was the exhibit? This was an educational display. They was at the state fair, and it was a red. If you're in arts and crafts, some schools do arts and crafts competitions with other schools where they get together. And so if you entered the exhibit there, you would put, the name of that location or event and your result. Section 5 is the leadership experiences within the project. So you need to be specific with this one. Leadership is defined as teaching another person or a group skills or information. Leadership also includes organizing and coordinating an activity, event, or meeting. So include elected, appointed, volunteer leadership within your project. Don't include leadership that occurred as part of performing a community service activity. So providing primary leadership to a community service event should be reported in the next section. So for example, on this one, Coley Construction, they were a junior project leader, and this is what they did, the size and scope of it, and it was at a county level. On the next form is our community and citizenship. And this is where we've came together and we've helped our community in serving others without compensation. List civil engagement, community service, or service learning projects. So for the example, they organized a community-wide disposal site for used batteries and household electronics. They gave 5 hours, and it was an A-level project, which confuses me on this. But again, you would list the level. Was it a local? Was it a community or district, regional, state, however it was. Okay, so then section 7 on the project report form is where you would list, and this is just for this slide, this is just for the general project report form. So this is non-animals. You're going to list your any income and expenses. It's okay if you have a loss. That's not going to deter anything away. It's just showing that you had to, for photography, purchase photo mats, and you had to pay to get prints printed. Or for arts and crafts, you had to pay to get your supplies and make it, and then you might have sold it, so you made a little bit of money. Or for foods and nutrition, you had to spend much money to make this project. These forms don't auto-calculate, so you will have to go through that process, and you might have to help a 4-H'er go through that process. But we're really just focusing on accuracy and not being thorough with our record keeping on this. On our animal projects, there's a little bit more to it, and they're more detailed finances. So not all financial charts will apply to all animals, as some are designed for the market animals, but all animal projects have feed expenses, animal inventory, bedding, shelter, things like that. So it's important to keep track of those expenses and incomes as you start the project, and then record your animals in your animal inventory as you purchase a rabbit or cattle or swine. So on project report form on section 8, this is the 4-H story. And typically you would type it on a document and include it in your book. Now it's added into the project report form. So you should see two, a junior and a senior on your screen. A senior, again, gives some questions, some guiding questions, but they're going to type it in there. For our juniors, they're going to answer the prompts. So it's age-appropriate questions, and then it has a parent and guardian piece where you can add in what do you think your child gained from the project. A project reflection should not be a repetition of what you've already put in your record keeping, but it should include new information, expand on entries to tell the story of a 4-H project work, organize your writing by including an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. It should capture the reader's attention, make it interesting. Journalists call it a lead, but it's a great way to make it fun and pull people in. And so this is where you can let your personality shine. And so when you conclude it, you tie it all together, you summarize all of your record keeping, your career goals, you're acknowledging who helped you along the way, and you're summarizing everything you learned. Section 9, again, we have a split between the junior and the intermediate and senior, but this is where we put our pictures up, and our juniors will have 6 photos that demonstrate learning, leadership, and citizenship. Our intermediates will have 6 photos demonstrating learning, 6 demonstrating leadership and citizenship, and seniors will have 6 in each of those, so 6 in learning, 6 in leadership, and 6 in citizenship. So again, it's scaffolding from your way up. So as a junior, you have a max of 6 that you can enter, and by the time you're at a senior, you have 3 times that you can add for photos, and they're very specific on the categories to show. Photos are very important. They should reflect growth, development, and involvement in the 4-H project, and they should show the member doing things, learning, teaching, having fun. So this is perfect for you to ask the parents, hey, let me get a photo of that kid as a volunteer. You want to help them to also have the photos they need. Evaluating, they have added a new sheet and they've updated the points possible sheet. So it's just been updated, but you'll see this come October when it comes time to judge our new record books again. But each record book is worth 100 points total, and there's a place for you to total it and write comments to the 4-Hers. Again, if it's on a we're going to link to this website, but there's some tips on there on how to make sure you're doing it with the free Adobe account, and how you should open it from the saved document. When you download it, it'll pull it up in the internet browser. And what some people have found is if you type in there and then print from there, it won't save what you typed in. So once you download it, you need to go to your documents folder and pull it up so you can save it and work on it and come back to it. But this is also where you can find it and you can print it off and you guys can work on it throughout the year. Some important tips. Record keeping is a valuable skill. Project leaders, club leaders, all of our volunteers are great in teaching this skill and reminding 4-Hers about this skill. There's 4 pieces to it: the checklist, the personal page, the permanent record, and the project report form. We are looking, this will begin in October. Record keeping begins in October and ends in September. And it's important that you keep an accurate record of your projects. Quantity isn't always great. It's great to know everything, but when it comes to our record books, prioritizing and figuring out the most important, the most accurate pieces needed is what's a great skill for our 4-Hers. So thank you for attending our Lunch and Learn today. We're hoping to have a few more this spring and summer to just keep your volunteer professional development growing. If you have any questions or issues going through those, looking at these, or from parents, let me know and we can work that problem together. Again, these are a new record book, so there'll be some growth pains this year learning it, but we'll get through it together. And I encourage you to help all 4-H members to keep records and turn in a project report record form this year.